ladies, I know you all know me, but if you don't, I'm Valerie with Fender Financial Coaching. So tonight we are going to be talking about something that can completely change your financial journey, and that is building income streams. So most of us were basically taught we go to school, we get a job, we work hard, maybe we ask for a raise every few years, but it is all dependent on one paycheck. But wealthy people are thinking about their income differently. So they are always asking, how can I create another way for money to come into my life? And so that's exactly what we're going to be talking about tonight. So my goal isn't to convince you that you need to have exactly 7 different side hustles or different income streams, but my goal is to help you identify one additional income stream that could move you one step closer to being able to retire early. There we go. Okay. So tonight we're going to cover off on 3 things. First, why wealthy people don't rely on a single paycheck. Second, we're going to walk through 7 different types of wealth building income streams. There are probably, dozens of more different types, but we're going to kind of focus on 7. And then finally, I'm going to help you choose one income stream that might make the most sense for you. So we're going to be here for about 30 minutes or so. I'm going to try to keep this practical and actionable for you. And I really want you to leave tonight with one idea and one next step that you can take. So, all right, let's make this a little interactive. How many income streams do you think that you currently have right now? I want you to drop that answer into the chat. Do you have one income stream, 2 or 3, 4 to 5, or 6 or more? And don't overthink this at all.
My chat's disabled. Is that me?
Did I disable the chat for everyone? I might have done. Is it disabled for everyone?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, it's
okay.
disabled for me too.
You can, I apologize.
But I just clicked start a new chat.
Did it work?
Oh, but I don't know if it's going to go to everyone. No.
So you can just say your number out loud then.
I think 2.
B.
I think 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say 2, but it's a very slight 2. I'm leaning into 2, just very, very, very slightly.
All right. Well, we are going to come back to this question at the end. So just kind of remember what you put down there. I can get this to advance. All right, there we go. So, all right, so most people are thinking, if I could just make more money at my job, then I'd finally feel financially secure. And I totally used to think that way too. But wealthy people really are asking themselves a different question. And they're asking, as I mentioned earlier, how can I create more ways for money to come into my life? It's a very subtle shift, but it's a powerful one. So instead of depending on one source of income, they're building multiple sources of income. And they're doing that because that creates flexibility. So now there's really only 3 ways to get to a point where you can retire earlier. The first one is to reduce your expenses, spending less. This is generally the first one that I would address with clients when I'm doing coaching sessions with them. It's usually the easiest to do is to, review your budget, see maybe where some money is kind of leaking out of your budget. It is definitely the least fun of all of the options. Nobody wants to cut back on spending. The second one is to build more income. And then the third one is to invest smarter. And all 3 of these matter. But tonight we're going to focus on building more income because increasing your income can help accelerate everything else. So the more income you have, the more that you can save. The more income can help you invest more, and more income can definitely help you create more options. So why do multiple income streams matter for you? So we all know this a little too well sometimes. Life happens. People lose their jobs, companies restructure, people get laid off. I know in the news, it seems like every company is doing massive layoffs. People get sick. Maybe you need to step away from work to help take care of your parents. We're all kind of getting to that age now where we're sandwiched between taking care of parents and taking care of children. And when all of your income comes from one place, then your financial life becomes very fragile. But multiple income streams can help create flexibility for you. They create security, and most importantly, they create options for you. So, and if you've followed me for a while, you know that I like to talk about being able to have additional, more choices, more options all the time. So financial independence isn't just about retirement. Every step closer that you get to financial independence gives you more choices today. And I really love this picture of this bridge because it's propped up by all of these pillars holding it up. And that's exactly the way that our financial lives are. So if we've got additional income streams, if something happens to one income stream, then you're not stuck kind of flailing about. You've got different income streams that can help lift you up. All right, now do you really need 7 income streams? No, absolutely not. So the internet loves to let you know that every millionaire has 7 income streams, but that is not the point. So the point is building the right income streams for your life. Maybe that is having one amazing career and really strong with investing. Maybe it's a side business. Maybe it's rental property. Maybe it's an Airbnb. This isn't, there isn't one right answer for everyone. The goal isn't 7. The goal is for you to create freedom, and whatever combination of these things fit your life. So the first one that we're going to talk about and why I wanted to start here is with paycheck income. And I don't want anyone to dismiss their paycheck. Your paycheck is incredibly valuable, and it's probably the engine that's funding your retirement accounts today. But your paycheck isn't the end of your wealth building journey. It's actually just the beginning. So your salary can become savings, your savings can become investments, and your investments can turn into future income for you. Another great example, side hustles. I definitely have a couple of side hustles. I love trying new side hustles and seeing, kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what I fall in love with. A lot of people are kind of familiar with the gig economy, Uber, DoorDash, doing stuff like that, pet sitting, consulting, freelancing, maybe doing some seasonal work. I had a friend that used to work at Williams-Sonoma during the holidays so that she could get the discount, and she would buy all of her family's Christmas presents from there, which I thought was brilliant. But you're still trading time for money when you do this, but you are at least creating an additional income stream for yourself. And sometimes a side hustle can become a business. Maybe you start doing dog walking and then it turns into pet sitting and then you're boarding animals. So the important thing is that you just start somewhere. Now, the next category is business income. And this is where entrepreneurship lives. You own it, you build it. Maybe it's coaching, maybe it's an Etsy store. I used to have an Etsy store, which was fun. It was a fun creative outlet for me. Maybe you're great at photography and you can do weddings on the side. I've got a friend that does weddings and videography on the side. Maybe it's selling courses or digital products. So business income has enormous potential because you're creating something that's yours. And as someone who's building my my own business, excuse me, I can tell you that it's definitely not always easy, but it can absolutely become a powerful wealth building tool for you. And you can make it be whatever you want it to be. Do you want it to replace your full-time income? Do you always want it to be just a little bit of side income? You get to completely choose what you want that to turn into when you build your own business. Now, the next one is interest income. And this is totally one of the easiest income streams to create. If you have a high yield savings account, you are earning interest income. If you've got CDs or treasury bills or bonds, and I'm not sure if anyone is doing or familiar with private lending. I would never consider myself someone that did private lending. And then I remembered Ben actually introduced me to an app years ago called Prosper. And that is a private lending app. And there are people that will apply for loans. Let's say I want to do a $20,000 home improvement and I apply for a $20,000 loan. You'll get rated almost kind of like your credit rating, your credit score. You'll get rated, an A, B, C, D based on your credit score and your risk. And then as someone who's putting money in to lend, I can go and see all of the loans. Are they an A loan, a B loan, a C loan? And then I can decide how much money I want to put into that. So maybe someone's looking to borrow $20,000 and I'm going to put $100 in towards that. So I actually did this maybe 6 or 7 times. I never put into the system more than $500, I don't think. But it was kind of cool. As money would come in, I would get to a certain point and then I would just reinvest that into a new loan. And I thought it was a really, really cool concept that there were people out there loaning their own money to help other people that needed a loan. So I loved that. I'm getting out of that now, but I really loved the whole concept of it. So it's basically, any interest income, it's your money is starting to earn additional money for you. And it's a beautiful thing because you don't really have to do any additional work. You just simply have to put your money in the right place. So the next one that we're going to talk about is investment income. And this is my favorite category. Your investments can totally pay you. They can grow for you, or they can do both. You've got dividends, capital gains, your investment growth, and this is really where compound interest starts to work its magic. So this is one of the biggest reasons that I was able to change my own financial trajectory. So I've been investing since the first job out of college, but I didn't really learn to confidently invest on my own and kind of understand it until about 7 years ago. And that completely changed what retirement looks like for me now. So investment growth and investment income is a huge lever that you can totally pull. And the next one here, rental income. This is another category that's much broader than people realize. So you've got your traditional rental properties, your Airbnbs. If you are renting out a room, or if you've got a duplex and you live in one portion, and you rent out the other, or you have a house and you rent out bedrooms to people. I totally loved when I learned about Turo. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Turo, but you can basically rent out your car. And because I wasn't driving my car very often, I looked into doing Turo. They came and picked up my car. They inserted, if you've ever done, with the car insurance companies, you can plug that little thing into your car and it will check to see if you're a safe driver. You can get the safe driver discount. Turo does the same thing. They plug something into your car and it allows people to remotely access your car. So you can rent your car out on the app. And because I wasn't driving that much, I thought that this would be a perfect way for me to make some extra money. Unfortunately, where I live, I was in this Turo satellite dead zone, and the Turo satellites couldn't pick up my car with the device installed, so I couldn't utilize it. But I thought it was such a great option. I know you can rent your car out on the Uber app, so you can drive for Uber as a side hustle, but you can also rent your car out on the Uber app, which is completely amazing. I also thought about getting my car wrapped at some point, but I don't drive that often, and I think you get paid based on the mileage. But basically, any sort of asset that you have could become rental income here for you. If you own an asset, and you could allow that asset to help generate income for you. All right, so the last one that we're going to talk about is passive income. And this is the category that everyone loves. People have affiliate income, referral links for things. You'll see all of the social media followers. The more followers they have, then they start getting paid out by the platforms. You could earn passive income through royalties. Maybe you write a book and then you're able to sell it over and over again. You could do licensing deals. You could create digital products. I do want to be very clear with the word passive because most people think, oh, it's passive income. You're not really having to work for it, but you usually have to create something first. So there might be, quite a bit of work put into it in the beginning, and then it can continue to generate growth and income over time. So you can create it once and then get paid over and over again on that. So I am going to share this afterwards. I'll put this in the chat if I can get the chat to work. Otherwise, I'll email this out to you. But I created a wealth building income playbook for you, and I've got some screenshots here of what it looks like. So you don't have to do this. We'll kind of go through this quickly, but I wanted to explain what this is. So this is where you're going to be able to turn some ideas into actions. So on this first step, you're going to circle every income stream that you already have. And remember when I asked that question at the beginning, how many income streams you thought that you had? If you were to look at this list or think as we were going through the last few slides, how many income streams you've got, so you'll circle all of the income streams that you've got. And then I want you to put a star next to any income streams that interest you or excite you. And these are going to be things that you're not currently doing, or maybe you're doing them and there could be some additional options for you to build income around it. So, don't choose something based on what, someone on Instagram says that you should be doing, but choose something that genuinely excites you and that fits your lifestyle and your interests and your goals. So then what you're going to do is you're going to evaluate those ideas. So anything that you starred, now you can kind of evaluate it and figure out, how much time would this one require? Are there going to be any startup costs? How difficult will it be for me to start this? What's the growth potential? I don't want you kind of chasing these shiny objects. I want you to make an intentional decision. And then the last part of this is to really decide on one income stream that you'd like to explore next. It doesn't mean you have to do it, but it's something that you'll look into that, maybe you'll decide to take some action on it. Maybe the first action is Googling something about it. And then I want you to put a date of when you're going to complete that by. All right, so now we're kind of circling back now that you've kind of heard some possible options of income streams. I want you to look back at that opening question. I know you can't put it in the chat, but how many income streams do you think that you have now versus when we first started this?
Maybe one more.
One more? Which one was it?
I thought of dividends. Like I thought of interest, but not dividends. But I
They're very
also,
similar.
right, but you had them separate. So I guess
Yep,
they'd be considered two different things. I was also thinking like, does my commission work? Because I've got my salary, but my commission could vary depending on
absolutely.
how hard I work.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. Anyone else want to share?
Yeah, mine went up one because of the interest. I didn't think of that.
Yeah. All of your investments are working hard for you. It's it's almost like another paycheck. You just don't see it because I'm imagining since we are all in this wealth building stage that our interest is getting reinvested.
Yeah, like
Oh,
Never
dividends
seen
are
it.
reinvested. I don't really think of it as income yet, just because it
We
doesn't
don't
really
see it.
exist in my world. It's
Yeah,
just over here doing its job.
right.
so
But
actually it's more, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, no, I was just gonna agree with Cecilia. We don't see it because it doesn't come into our checking account every week or every month like
Yeah.
our paychecks do. But it is money you're earning.
Yes.
So
So
what were you gonna
I
say, Mark?
went up by two. I went up by two though because you had interest, you had the dividends, but you also had just growth, like growth of investments. So
Yeah,
yeah, I went up by two. I thought I had two, but there's two more there.
yeah. And again, same thing. I imagine everyone's investments are growing and getting bigger, and they're just generating more wealth for you quietly in the background. Again, because they don't come into your checking account, you don't see it happening. So, but it is additional income that you've got. All right, so you definitely don't need to build 7 income streams here. You only need to choose one thing to explore next. All of these small steps lead to more income. More income can lead to more investing. More investing can lead to more options, and more options can lead you closer to an earlier retirement, which is everything that I want for all of us. So, all right, so your homework after this, I will put it in the chat or email it to you so that you've got it. I want you to count your income streams. I want you to choose one that you'd like to explore and take one action. And email me, text me, post on social media, something. Let me know what you decided that you wanted to explore. I'd love to kind of hear what you guys are thinking about. All right, so that is basically it. So, if anyone, as always, if anyone wants to jump on a complimentary discovery call, talk about income stream opportunities, I would love to chat with you guys about that. And I'm going to show you next month's theme in honor of football season coming back. We are not going to be talking fantasy football teams, but we are going to be talking about building your financial dream team. So I will have football theme if everyone wants to wear their favorite football jersey or team jersey.